I love printing. I love printing. I love it. I love printing. Everybody, welcome back to exciting podcast here. Mine, Printer to Printer. But today we don't have a printer. We have a former person from the print industry. We have Steve Metcalf, presently of Imagine AI, formerly of AMS Motion Systems. How you doing, Steve?
Good. And I'd like to correct that a little bit. I was never a printer, but I got to spend a lot of time with printers and printed some really cool stuff in our time. So I like to feel like I got the keys to drive the cars every now and then.
Well, I'll add in then that like you were instrumental in me running my UV press because you and Hans made the systems that all the OEMs were putting on their presses, and then you were one of the leaders in the LED for UV. So kudos for all of that. But today we are here and we are here to talk about AI. Yes, AI is everywhere, and I would like to educate the people that are listening in print as much as possible about it. Why? And don't get mad at me, folks, but when it comes to the printing industry, we are the slowest at moving at everything that comes about. And AI, you cannot be the slowest because from the last time I spoke to Steve to now, things have just rapidly changed in all ways. So I have Steve here today because those of you that might not know, I was a founding member of Imagine AI. We had our big conference in March, sold out in weeks. I asked a lot of print people to come. I saw a few of you, Al from Chemical Group. Kudos. Thank you. I saw Leon from Abco. And I know there was one more, but I'm forgetting. But I didn't see the rest of you. And I really think it's important that you come to this event, that you sign up, that you go, if nothing else, to learn and familiarize yourself with what's going on. So with that, I'm going to say to you, Steve, give us a little bit of a lowdown. Tell us a little bit. Actually, I got some questions I wrote for the first time. But tell me what inspired you to organize Imagine AI. Then we have the one-day event. And then what do you hope to achieve from it?
Yeah, no, great setup, and I guess a little bit of sort of how did this come to be? You know, my background before I got into printing technology with AMS Spectral UV was always in sort of software, enterprise productivity. You know, that's where I cut my teeth, and I've always been, I guess, a self-described futurist, tech strategist, and so. But I'm also an entrepreneur. I've been in business my whole life. Business is my hobby. When I'm not doing business, I'm thinking about it, and for all the good reasons, right? One of the things we found about a year ago when large language models hit the scene, and specifically ChatGPT is the most notorious of those, is that the realm of things that we could do just completely expanded tenfold easily. The realm of things you can do to automate your business, to get smarter, to pull in intelligence, essentially, stuff that we used to dream of doing, running companies, is now literally within our sights to do. And I was looking for a conference or an event where we could go to plug into this scene faster, because it's happening so quickly. There's so many. Anybody who's following the AI scene out of San Francisco and sort of the beyond, it's so hard to keep up with. There are so many new tools, techniques, platforms. The message is coming everywhere on how you can automate with AI, but where do you start? And some of it, even the most basic things, like how do you become good at prompt engineering on these platforms? What are the differences? So there wasn't an event like that. We had some experience running the Print UV conference as that technology developed in the printing industry, where we brought together a lot of like-minded people that wanted to learn faster than the rest of the cohort and learn from each other. And so the same concept applied. So myself and folks like you and other founding members came together and said, how can we create an event that, first of all, is beyond a single industry? Because this is going to impact every industry. And it has to be cross-industry and cross-function, because if you think about what's the impact of generative AI, it's going to hit every function of a business, from your customer-facing functions, your internal operations, your supply chain, the creative aspects of your business, everything. And so how do you get knowledge faster, and how do you cut through some of that noise? And that was the genesis idea behind Imagine AI Live, was let's put an event. Of course, let's have it in Vegas because it's a very accessible place for a lot of people. And if nothing else, you'll have fun if you go. And that's what we did. And in March, end of March, we had an absolutely sellout event. Over 500 people showed up, a lot from the graphic industry, but many from other walks. And I think that was the magic of this. It was just so much discovery, knowledge sharing. We had speakers from some of the top AI companies that are building platforms that can be adopted by businesses today. People explaining sort of how this landscape is shaping. Great networking. I always describe the best conferences are networking events disguised as conferences. So incredible networking and discovery. And what we learned from that as we step away from end of March was that almost everybody that we interacted with said, you guys need to do this again, but you can't wait a year to do it because AI is happening so quickly. It's happening on an exponential rate. It's so hard to keep up. So we came up with this idea of doing city events, one day, what we call impact events, starting in major cities. And the very first one is in New York City. It's happening in July, on July 12th. And doors are open, registration's wide open for this event. We would love to get as many people, and even if you're not in the New York metro area, it's a very accessible event to get to. And we're going to be continuing the conversation. We're adding workshops for people so they can up-level their themselves, their team members, into different aspects of AI. And love to talk more about that. But that's one of the aspects we learned, was that, hey, bring some hands-on stuff. So we're bringing hands-on as well as speakers on about every manner of topic you could imagine that could help a company lean into AI faster.
So first, for anybody listening, go to the website, imagineai.live. You can get a list of all the speakers. I just want to tell you this from my own perspective. I'm founding member with you because when we spoke right away and I wanted to dive in with you. Prior to the last conference, I didn't even know what an LLM was. I knew ChatGPT as AI. And I think when I talk to people now, that's what most people think of, ChatGPT and maybe a journey, mid-journey or something. But I signed up for 3 newsletters months and months ago. I can't keep up with what's going on every day looking at them. My head is spinning with all the updates. There's a lot of startups. But going to the conference, the people that I met, never mind the people I met, the things that I heard allowed me to open up my mind and start to go sideways, up and down, because it's a 360-degree perspective that you could have with AI. There isn't anything that it won't touch. And I personally am using it every day in some capacity, right? Even if it's a LinkedIn post that takes me 2 minutes instead of 20. Or the other day, I just had to put a little list together of items, and I used the AI to organize the list, to put it in place, to fill in missing pieces. And I'm like, oh my God, right? So I just think if for everybody listening, it's so important that you put yourself in a place where you could hear from others that are doing things for 2 reasons. One, to learn about it, but more importantly, to give you the ideas of what you can do with it later. It's amazing. When I think of Jess, who was there and got on stage, for the average person, and I've said it last time, I'll say it again, she talked about going shopping. She talked about coming home. She talked about telling her husband, we got to make a list of everything in the pantry. And I mean, he probably chuckled because we all chuckle. And after she made the list of the food in the pantry, she asked Chat to recipes that she could make for dinner with the items that were expiring the soonest. And she said she had a feast. And the bigger thing was, she says, I will never waste food again. So whoever thought that ChatGPT or an AI app would allow you to not waste food in your house, especially today as prices are going through the roof?
No, it's incredible. The use cases are everywhere. And I think one of the things you just touched on is that, really to lean into AI as a professional, in just your personal life, it requires a bit of a belief and retraining of your belief system as well as your behavior. So the way I like to describe it is, we're so used to every cognitive task that we have every day, that we have to do that. We have to crunch through it ourselves. We have to, whether it's writing emails, blog posts, booking things, doing things, it's reviewing contracts, all these things that fill up our day. And then you sometimes wonder, you get to the end of the day, what happened to my day? If you can retrain your thinking to bringing those cognitive tasks to an LLM, to an AI like ChatGPT, the latest version is incredible. Claude, which is Anthropic, is another one that's amazing. Don't try it on Microsoft Copilot yet, because there's some limits there. You're talking about a much lower sort of capability. That's like a 2 horsepower lawnmower engine compared to the things that are out there that are like Formula Ones in the AI world that are unbelievably good at what they're doing. And a lot of this is just retraining our whole approach to our day and asking ourselves, what can I bring to AI today? What could make my life easier if I brought it to AI? What would give me more creative output? And that's just the beginning. That's the first sort of behavioral change to become an AI first, or sort of, whether you're leading your business this way, or just as your personal professional intent, to become a human using AI versus someone that's not.
I mean, like you just said, it's personal, it's business. It's you want information, you want to learn something, you want to learn how to do something. It makes it so simple. I mean, I was playing around with some logos and some pictures just to see what it does, and I'm like, oh my God, wasn't exactly what I wanted, but I was more amazed about how fast it had completed it. For me, where it really comes into play, this AI thing is, I could sit down at my desk and have writer's block, even though I'm not writing, I could be doing anything, and not know where to start. And I'll put a little prompt in, and then all of a sudden it comes back in 3 seconds or 2 seconds, and I'm like off to the races. All I needed was that little push, especially because I sit in my office and I work alone. So it's not like I even have a team to bounce off of. So now I've got like ChatGPT, Perplexity open. I pay for them, by the way. And for everyone listening, if you're not paying the $20, don't waste your time. You're using the light version. Don't use the light version, right? Give up 2 beer at the hockey game or any event that you go to and get an AI app. It's so worth it. I even have it on my phone. ChatGPT on the phone is amazing. I talk to it about, what I want to do. Then it does it, rewrites it, like correct it back and forth a little because it's my companion. And then I do a copy paste, put on LinkedIn, and a post, like I said earlier, take 20 minutes, took 3 minutes. And I'm like, boom. I didn't know what to do the rest of the hour because I was planning that whole hour to do stuff, right? So it kind of just freed it up. Tell me a little bit about the speakers that are coming, because there's a pretty, wide range of people. And I noticed some of them, we have John speaking, who was there last time, John Rossman, who was amazing. Actually, for those of you who are coming, his book, spectacular. He gave them away last time. But tell us a little bit about some of the people.
Yeah, so the speaker roster is building up fast. We'll have over 30 speakers for the event, whether speakers, panelists, people that are leading workshops for us. And the mix is interesting because what we found in Las Vegas, the speakers are crossing a number of different important topics, for business leaders that are looking at AI. The number one is AI leadership and strategy. And so guys like John Rossman, who wrote Big Bet Leadership, he's an ex-Amazon executive that was instrumental in building Amazon marketplaces. He lectures now or talks on how to place bets and what can go wrong with a transformational project. And AI is just the opportunity with AI to do big bets and place bigger bets is just huge. And John is going to, as an example, leave an executive workshop on placing bigger bets for people that are looking at transforming, a bigger chunk of their organization. Alicia Bate is one of our speakers. She's really involved in the future of work and how work and the nature of work is going to be changing with AI. She's doing some executive things. And then we we go all the way over to the technical people. So we've got people like Bindu Reddy, who is the CEO of a company called Abacus AI. Abacus is an incredible platform for spinning up on your private data, private knowledge, using open source large language models or using ChatGPT 4.0 or one of the other ones like Claude, but basically doing it on your own data internally, securely and safely. They work with a lot of enterprises and they can literally spin these things up very fast. they're going to be talking on creating agentic workflows or AI agents. So how do you create something that's an expert on a certain part of your data? A good example would be if you've got production, a lot of production or process engineering knowledge, and you want to really spin that up and you want to manifest it into maybe an internal chatbot or some kind of agent that helps deal with your customers. This is the kind of stuff you can get into, and the speakers.
Sorry, perfect for the print world, right? We've
Exactly.
got tons of production information. We've got tons of estimating, customers calling all the time for information. There's ways that you'll be able to speed it up,
Yeah, I
right?
mean,
So for anyone,
imagine. Yeah,
no, I
imagine
was just going
having
to say for
a.
anyone, sorry, I was going to say for anyone in our industry, like you want to hear what this one's all about, because when you're wondering what you're going to do and how you're going to do it, Bindu could help bring it together and give you that vision. And you need to start now because it still takes some time to do it. But the longer you wait, you don't want to hear that your competitor just beat you to it, even though you heard about it first.
Oh, exactly. And we're so close to having, to deployment with AI because you don't have to go to IT. You don't have to go hire expensive software engineers. You could probably train people you already have or use the guy that comes into your server room once a week, depending on how big you are, to start working with these tools right away. And so much of them depend on, the strategies that I love for the the printing industry and any manufacturing industry in general is how do you take all this esoteric knowledge that's floating around, that's trapped in people's heads? It's in the heads of your suppliers, your chemistry, substrates, machinery, subsystems. What if you could bring that together and have just the ultra knowledge, about your operation, and the next person that needs to get an answer quickly on, how to run this job or how to optimize our production schedule. There's a great task for AI. So these things have been plaguing the print industry forever. Printers are great at having the latest, fastest presses and really cool output, but the whole operation that supports it, that's always been the bane of existence that, I've seen. And it's almost like we're able to go, if you're in the graphics industry and you move quickly, you're able to go from like very low sort of tech, even with MIS, even if you're not even fully deployed on MIS or ERP, to very high levels of automation very quickly. And it's going to be going to conferences like Imagine AI Live, where you're going to learn this stuff and interact with companies that can help get you there at a fraction of what you thought it would take to do it.
Oh, it's yeah, and then I mean, last time we had who was the fella from Grock?
Oh yeah, their Grock is back. So this is really interesting. Everybody's heard of Nvidia by now, I think, and if you bought any of
Only
their
I think
stock in the
actually
last
they
year,
just surpassed. They might have just surpassed Apple in
yes,
terms of like
total
gross
market cap.
value market.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and so the reason why Nvidia is so on fire is that they, at the moment, they're the only chip maker that creates these GPUs that allow you to train large language models. So the entire industry that's training up these language models has to buy Nvidia's GPUs. But then there's the other side of it, which is inferencing. That's the prompting. That's what the interaction of using these models. And Grock is a company. This is not Elon Musk's Grock. This is in fact, they have a little bit of a thing going on about the name. This is Grock Chips, or Grock Incorporated with a Q. And they came to our event in Las Vegas, and they're coming back to New York.
Oh,
They're
Mark was
creating,
great.
yeah, and they're and the guy who's speaking, Mark Heaps, uh, was from the brand industry. He was a creative, and he is actually head of brand for Grock right now. What they're doing is creating a super fast inference chip layer. So let's say you have a use case that you discovered in your company. You want to do it more privately. You want to build an app around it to kind of keep it, more of a tool that you can use internally. They have a cloud-based platform, Grock, where you can literally create these things, and they're super high speed. So the last thing a person that's interacting with a chatbot or an agent wants to do is wait for this thing to take forever to go through the data. They have 10x the speed of AI usage or AI inference, and
Well, they could be the fastest processing out there right now, I think.
they are in terms of tokens per second. Tokens are like the words of input to a prompt and the words of output. The output that you get from a prompt. And tokens are equivalent to words. The new metric is tokens per second, and it's going to be like miles per hour. It's a metric that you'll use to sort of measure the inherent speed of using AI, because nobody likes an app that's slow, and what they're contributing is super fast, high speed, very, very low cost generation. Because one of the things that does cost money is paying for inference. And if you're only going to ChatGPT personally, $20 a month is no big deal. But if you're doing it as an enterprise and you've got a lot of stuff and a lot of activities that you're moving in and out of AI, these things are going to matter. But incredibly cool company. They're going to be hosting a kind of workshop as well on how do you build on tools like Grock to really create the app you always wanted. Most of us, if we've been in business, have dreamed of, I wish there was an app that helped me do scheduling better or helped me do this better. And it's not available from your ERP provider, your MIS system. And if it is, it's maybe clunky. You can literally imagine things now, hence the name, and realize them in AI very, very quickly and solve these problems that are perplexing us. And to me, that's one of the coolest things. Companies like Grock, companies like Abacus, and we'll have others there as well that are going to be teaching people how to do this.
Yeah, I think if people could wrap themselves around the fact that they could have things quicker, because I think in our industry, and I say print, people are used to moving, but they're not moving, right? And so this is I'm going to touch on a point where someone's going to get mad at me, but the fact that we have so many older people in the print industry concerns me a little, because they're not so apt to run after and learn this. Some, from conversations I've had, some don't believe it, some are afraid of it, some don't care. But by the way, for the owners listening to me now, AI is the perfect way to attract younger audience to your company. So if you are learning it, playing with it, talking about it on your website, you now have just given yourself an opportunity to beat out your competition with hiring people, because I'll say the youngins today, they're all in it, they're all on it. So I think it's a big point for the print industry to make AI vital as we go out now to try to bring in new people, younger people to an industry, because we have a lot of people retiring soon.
Yeah,
so
and actually, it's really
great
interesting
idea
that
for that.
Yeah, that you bring that up, because it's a challenge for the printing industry to have a lot of people that are knocking on the door of retirement and all that knowledge about to leave and churn, right? But it's also one of the greatest opportunities to act on now, because one of the best use cases with AI is to take knowledge that's in someone's head. And so how would you get that? You got these people that have been in your business for years. They know everything about, they know how to get the jobs running. They know all the tricks and the techniques. And in a lot of cases, it's probably not written down anywhere. So if you can start, and this is a strategy that I talk about when I talk to printing companies, start rolling the camera on these folks. Literally start interviewing your employees. They don't necessarily have to, if they don't want to use AI, they don't have to, but they can contribute to the success of AI as you transcend that into the next generation of people that are coming to work for you. So roll the camera on these guys, get the transcripts, ask them great questions about how they've always run this or done that.
It's easy, right? Mike, easiest thing is mic them up, have it recorded, and have them talk about what they're doing as they're doing it.
We're going to see little recording things that you can literally clip on, and you can literally have them spend a day with your pressman or somebody and just walk around, record every conversation, take the entire transcript, run it through a really cool power prompt in an AI model. And then you'll have basically a document of how to do your entire process, your SOP, if you will, or your standard operating procedures. And you can then take that and use that as feedstock into an AI chatbot that's built on your business, that now you bring a new employee in, or somebody has a question in the middle of the night, they can just ask it, well, how do we do this? How do we solve this for this substrate, or whatever, this ink issue I'm having or scumming issue? There's the answer right there. And it allows you to sort of retrain and redeploy that knowledge very quickly and get us that sort of next generation of people coming into this industry, something really cool to work with. And it gives the people that, that have been in the industry forever, something really valuable that they can leave behind as a legacy. When they're out fishing, now they can, you could literally have a call with them on the fishing boat and say, hey, can we record this conversation? We're having this problem. We want to understand how you would have solved it. And they give you how they would have done it. And now you've got that procedure, and you can literally institutionalize that in your business overnight.
And you could also have some of the people that are retiring, offer them up some fun jobs on small contracts to come in and do some of this stuff, so that they're still part of it, but they're not on the machine. right? But they're training the young people. There's so many different options that people have. I mean, when you mentioned the chatbot, I remember when we sat down when we were going to see that print company, and they didn't have one on the website, and then we pulled up, one of the apps. We pulled all the stuff off their website. We fed it right into it, and all of a sudden, we had a chatbot for them, and they didn't even know.
It's another company that's coming back to they're sponsoring New York, and they're called Chat Simple. And you literally can create a chatbot on all of your customer facing your website essentially within about 20 minutes. And they're gonna have a workshop to teach people how to do this. And if you can deploy that, you have an extra sales agent now that's always there 24/7 that knows everything about your company and can represent you to people visiting your site. Lead generation, just higher conversion rates, you name it. And you can go really deep into this area if you want. That's actually customer facing use cases is one of the best realms to go after some big unlocks early with AI and get your feet wet.
And by the way, in terms of those chatbots, I think more people are using them not even by choice. So like when I go onto online banking and I can't get someone and I don't really want to go to the chatbot because I do it anyways. And then I get my answer and I'm like, why'd I fight it?
Yeah, exactly. And so if you pick the right platform, I mean, Chat Simple is, the name is just perfect because it's exactly that. It is a very simple way to do this. And the guys that built it came out of the, sort of the voice chat industry, which has been around for decades, with big call centers and all this. And they realized what was happening with large language models and AI, and they could do this completely differently. And so it's an entirely new, company that's attacking this from an AI standpoint. Their founder, CEO will be there with some of their folks. And this is the kind of stuff I want to serve up, to everybody to you can discover this. You don't have to hire an expensive agency to build this for you. You can literally sign up for some of these platforms and with a little bit of expertise that you already have, spin these things up and they're making an impact for you right away.
The other thing is if you're using an agency who's doing this chatbot for you, when you come to the conference, you'll get your money back because you'll now see how easy it is and how inexpensive it is that you won't spend that money. So even if you're thinking, I don't really know if I should go to the conference, come to the conference because you're going to save money in the long run, right? Think of it as a money saver. Think of it as an education. Think of it as a one-day university. Oh man, we can go on and on and on. Give me some of the logistics. Like we know it's July the 12th. We know it's in New York.
July the 12th. So it's a Friday in New York. So it's conveniently, a week after the 4th of July week in the US, which is important because a lot of people taking time off. So it's literally like your summer school on AI. If you could do one thing for one day this summer for AI, you come to Imagine AI Impact New York. You fly in on the 11th, which is a Thursday. For anybody who's arriving early, we're going to be having a few activities. It's actually in conjunction with Cornell University's Cornell Tech campus. This is a brand new campus. It's on the east. It's on Roosevelt Island, which is in the East River. So if you're familiar with Manhattan and you're at kind of Lower Central Park and you start walking east, you'll literally have to jump. You'll have to cross the bridge to get on this island, but it's right there, very accessible. Cornell Tech we're partnering with universities that are also bringing speakers and content and panelists. Cornell Tech is like the MIT of Cornell University, and they put this up literally a couple of years before the pandemic. So it's a brand new facility, brand new venue. There's a hotel on site there that people are going to be staying, the Graduate New York Hotel. We'll be going all day Friday with workshops, speakers, networking, AI showcases. And then for those that purchase a VIP pass from us, they're invited to come to a private VIP dinner that evening. And we would encourage everybody to invest in that. It's probably one of the best uses of your time. And if you have team members that are interested, we have group rates as well, so we can bring multiple people.
Cool. Yeah. By the way, the VIP dinner last time, the amount of time that people just sat around having drinks and just talking and moving table to table, and even after dinner, that's where I made 15 new friends. It was really, and everybody is so open to talking. Like I find in the world of print, you get a lot of closeness because everyone's afraid to divulge a secret that really isn't a secret. But in the world of AI, everyone just wants to share and bring more people in. The more people that come in, the more sharing, the more learning, the more action. It
Absolutely.
really is. It really is off the charts. Anyways, So
Yeah.
anything, you know what? We're going to wrap it up because we'll do it again. But anything you want to add just before we cut you off?
Well, Warren, I will give you a code that you can share when you put this out. It'll probably be Warren AI, WARRENAI, that we'll share with everybody that they can get a discount. If you're in the graphics industry, if you follow Warren, the Print Whisperer, please take advantage of that. We would love to have you out there. My personal mission, since I've got such a network in the graphics industry, is to bring a lot of folks into this. The graphics industry is just prime for AI. And getting on the curve early, learning how to deploy these things. A lot of times, it's not the mega corporations. The mega corporations are going to take more time to figure this out. It's the $1 billion or less businesses. It's the small, medium enterprises.
It's the entrepreneur.
Exactly, the entrepreneurs. And print is full of entrepreneurs. There is so much going on with the graphics part of this too. The AI, the art, the video, that intersects sort of what's the output of our industry actually is here. We're going to have experts that are going to be teaching workshops on AI art and creativity. We're going to have those teaching workshops on AI automation, prompt engineering, productivity. These are some of the top people that we found that are going to be at this event teaching these classes and workshops.
Cool. So just because I remember when we went to go see that print company, we won't mention names, and they had all their staff there, the president, CEO, all the people. And we did that little exercise with, with AI. The one person who was probably the least familiar with it in the end is the person who sat there and came up with 10 new ideas or potential new prospects to call, right? And the whole room was blown away, and it just happened to be their president.
Yeah, the CEO of the company actually had some of the best ideas on how to use AI to literally go after new business and things that had been difficult in the past, and was literally discovering these things on the fly. And so we're teaching a lot of these tools. How can you do research faster? How can you do go to market better? It's a lot of fun. And like I said, if you're thinking about AI and just don't know where to plug in, Imagine AI Live and these impact events is going to be one of the fastest routes to get yourself up leveled and upskilled and bring the rest of your company or whoever makes sense to get them on board soon too.
Yeah. The other thing is, for anybody listening, and if you know other people, Steve and I are able, willing, and capable to come to your place if you want to have a private session. If you want to engage your whole team, bring them up to speed, get them a little familiar with it so they're not afraid of it as you venture further into it, just reach out to myself and I could arrange it. It'd be our pleasure to help spread the word on AI. I do hope you take advantage of the promo code that I'm going to have. If you don't want to use it, don't use it. But if you don't come to this conference, you are doing yourself an injustice. That's all I'm going to say to you. All right. Steve, I'm going to see you July 12th, but probably speak to you 100 times before then. To everybody else, I hope you enjoyed the conversation. I hope you're becoming more comfortable, more relaxed with AI. When you get off from watching this, go open up one of your AI platforms and try something you haven't tried before. Otherwise, I just want to thank everybody for listening. I want to thank Steve for everything he's doing with AI and with the conference. Warren Werbitt, what they think. I love print and AI now. See you soon.
Match made in heaven. All right. Thanks, Warren. Appreciate it.